Hello there, welcome in to the latest edition of the SAU Softball Coaches Show. I'm Daniel Gallegos, joined alongside head softball coach Jason Anderson. And coach, a lot of things to talk about in this coaches show. Your team technically played 6 games over this past week, over the weekend with Henderson State at home. Then you went midweek on Rivalry Tuesday to Monticello, took on UAM, split a pair of games there. But first let's talk about the Henderson series. 4 games, you come away with the series win 3-1. Every game was very well played. 1-run games through the first 3. You go extra innings in 2 of those first 3. The 4th one you were able to separate yourselves a little bit to get the series win. But the entirety of the weekend, the pressure-packed situations, great pitching, some timely hitting on both sides. Playoff atmosphere, just describe that weekend and how incredible it was to be a part of it.
Well, it was a good weekend of GAC softball at its finest in the 4-game series like we always talk about. And you can't take a single inning off in this conference. I mean, it's one of those things. You got Henderson, who's defending regular season champs. I think they made a championship game in the conference tournament last year, so you know they're a good team. They've won some games last year. Have a lot of players on that team that have had some success, especially in the previous year. So you knew they were going to come in here and fight. And like you said, came in and won a couple extra inning games and dropped a 1-run game. The only game that we lost on the weekend was a 2-1 game, or I'm sorry, a 3-2 game, and you take a 2-1 lead into the 7th inning and you think you got that one okay, and they get a hit and score a couple and we're not able to answer in the bottom of the 7th. But overall, like you said, we were very happy with the weekend. Anytime you can get 3 or 4 in the conference, I think you're on pace to do what it is that you plan to do, and that's win the series. And we were able to do that against what I consider a very good softball team.
And then a couple of days later, after you come off of that weekend where not necessarily the pressure but the anxieties of the playoff atmosphere that was that weekend, playing additional extra inning games, all of that, the short turnaround for Tuesday, more conference games at Monticello. You come away with the split, you win the first one 4-1, and drop the second game. I believe 3-1 was the score there. So just talk about that doubleheader at Monticello, knowing that you got them coming back here for 2 more to complete the series.
Well, we had come off a really long weekend at Henderson. Our girls were sore. We were tired with all the extra inning games and everything. And like you said, we had such a quick turnaround that we went down there and we got game 1. And then in game 2 was a very good game. I think both of us scored in the first inning, and it was kind of a tie game until like the 5th. And felt like we should have made a play to get us out of the inning, and then they capitalized by hitting a home run off of us, and so it came a 3-1 game, and we were never able to get back on the scoreboard. I do feel like in game 2 that we did hit the ball a lot better as far as contact goes. We were squaring up a little more, kind of hit it right at them. Had a couple that went right to the wall that in the kind of the deep part of the field. So I think we were 1 hit or 2 away right there from it being a totally different game. But like I said before, on the road in this conference, Monticello's won over 20 games this year. I know they've been on the road and split with a very good Delta State team amongst others that they've played. So they're a good team. And we were, I guess, fortunate to get the split. It puts us in position when they do come here, if we can somehow get 2 games and we can take the 3 out of the 4 that we play them this year and win the series like that, like we plan on doing every weekend.
This upcoming weekend, another 4-game set. You're back at home, taking on Harding University. Before we dive into that series and what you're kind of anticipating out of that, it's a very special weekend, especially Friday. Starting at 1:30, we're having the official field dedication of the playing field, the main field, north side field. Be calling it Dawson Field. The Dawson family came through with a generous donation for field lights at both fields within the complex, and so naming the field Dawson Field, brand new scoreboard will be out there in right center field as well. Talk about that, the opportunity to be able to dedicate this field.
Well, it's going to be awesome, and of course the entire complex as a whole is something that we've been so excited about since its inception on a piece of paper 1.5 or 2 years ago, and then now to actually see it come to completion, and then on top of that, be able to have lights on both fields is a huge, huge asset to the entire complex and to the entire, for the program and everything. And the Dawson family are very generous in that donation. I know they have some roots here at SAU, and they have a deep background in sports and things here, and we're very fortunate to have that donation from the standpoint of just what the lights offer to our program for recruiting, allowing us to have late practices, allowing our students not to have to miss as much class. A whole list of things that's the positive with the lights, and just how it makes the complex look up there in both fields, being able to have tournaments. So that is a huge, huge deal, and we're very thankful for their donation. And it's also going to be an exciting time to name the field after them. Like I said before, they have a lot of ties in Magnolia and in SAU, and I think it's going to be something that's going to be called Dawson Field as long as it's up there. And it's brand new, so it's going to be up there a while.
Yeah, it also signifies the completion of the $1.3 million softball complex, Miller softball complex in its entirety, but obviously dedicating just that main playing field for the Dawson family. After that, we'll hook it up and we'll play some softball. 4-game
We will.
slate against Harding University, a very tough, scrappy team coming in. Their average is well over 300. They go about it a different way than the way in which you construct your teams. A lot of girls get on base, walks, some slap hits, things like that, bunts. The small game is really what they feature. They've almost stolen 100 bases. I think we've attempted 12.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
So there's the dichotomy between the way in which they go offensively, the way in which you guys prepare. Will that clash? How do you kind of see that playing out this weekend?
I mean, to each his own. Like I said, some coaches are more small ball, stealing bases, and it seems to be working for them so far this year. They've won several series. I'm going to venture to say they've only split a couple, and they've taken 3 or 4 from several other teams. I know they went on the road early and beat Southeastern when they hadn't lost a game in conference yet, and took 3 from them. So they're going to come in. They're going to find ways to get on base. When they do get on base, you got to expect they're going to try to steal some. So we're going to need to find a way to shut down the running game. And most importantly, if we can just keep them off the base paths, we're going to be okay. But they are a good team. I think they're sitting tied for 4th, 5th right now in the league, just a couple spots behind us. So it's a big series for us. They're coming in, coming off of some pretty good wins off the weekend, and then they had a tough set with Tech on Tuesday. But of course, Tech's the top team in our conference right now if you look at records. So and they played them 2 very close games. So I think they're coming in and they're gonna give us all they got, and we got to be ready for it. We got to pitch it, we got to hit it, and we got to defend it. And if we do that, I think we'll be fine. And like I said, our goal is we want to win every game. But if we can win the series, then we're going to be where we want to be at the end of the season.
Appreciate it very much for your time again. That's head softball coach Jason Anderson. He and his Lady Mule Riders are back at home this weekend, taking on Harding University. 4-game GAC slate beginning Friday at 2 p.m. Back half of the doubleheader will be at 4. Same thing, same times on Saturday. 2 and 4 with the doubleheaders. Again, the field dedication 1:30 on Friday. Get out there early. It should be a great event. Coach, we appreciate it.
All right, thank you.